The streets never forget, and neither does the internet. Late one night, a rumor started spreading like wildfire, quiet at first, then loud enough to shake the entire hip-hop community. Word hit social media that Lul Tim had allegedly been seen near the gravesite of King Von. No announcement, no warning, just whispers, blurry clips, and a wave of reactions nobody was ready for. Within minutes, timelines exploded, fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and just like that, one of the most sensitive and controversial rivalries in modern rap was back in the spotlight. But here's the thing, nothing is confirmed. Some people think it was real, others believe it was staged, and a large group is asking one question: why now? Because this didn't just come out of nowhere. Social media is saying that tensions had already been building after alleged disses connected to O-Block began circulating online. Fans believe lines were crossed. Others say it's just rap beef being blown out of proportion. But visiting a grave? That's different. That hits deeper. And if this really happened, or even if people just believe it did, it changes the energy completely. Now the internet is split in half. Some are calling it disrespect. Others are saying it's being misunderstood. And a few are convinced there's a bigger story behind all of this that nobody is talking about yet. So what really went down? Did Lul Tim actually visit King Von's grave? Was it a moment of reflection or something else entirely? Let's break it all down because this situation is way bigger than it looks. The story starts with a wave of tension that fans of Lul, Tim, and King Von never expected to resurface this intensely, especially after everything that's already happened between their circles. It all seemed to ignite again when whispers began spreading online that Lul Tim had allegedly made a visit connected to King Von's resting place, and almost instantly, emotions ran high across social media. Now, before anything gets twisted, nothing is confirmed about the exact details of what happened, but fans believe there's more to the story than what's being publicly said. Some people think this moment ties directly into ongoing tensions involving O-Block, a place that holds deep significance in King Von's legacy, and where loyalty, respect, and reputation carry serious weight. As soon as the rumors started circulating, social media began going crazy, with clips, screenshots, and reactions flooding timelines, each one adding fuel to a situation that already carried years of emotional history. People are divided, with some saying this alleged visit could be seen as disrespect, while others argue that without confirmed facts, it's dangerous to jump to conclusions. One fan even commented, "If this is real, this changes everything," while another pushed back saying, "Y'all need to chill, nothing is confirmed." And that right there captures the energy surrounding this situation, perfectly confusion mixed with intensity. What makes this even more layered is the history behind these names, because when you mention Lul Tim and King Von in the same sentence, it's impossible to ignore the past events that link them forever in the eyes of the public. That history alone is why even the slightest rumor can explode into a full-blown online storm within minutes. Fans are shocked not just because of what's being said, but because of what it could represent symbolically. In hip-hop culture, locations, gestures, and even timing carry meaning, and some people believe this situation, if true, might have been interpreted as a statement rather than just a coincidence. Others, however, are urging caution, pointing out how quickly misinformation spreads, especially when emotions are already involved. Still, the speculation hasn't slowed down. Social media detectives began analyzing everything from alleged timestamps to blurry images, trying to piece together a narrative, even though no official confirmation has been provided. Some are even questioning whether this could have been exaggerated or taken out of context entirely, while others feel there's a deeper message being sent beneath the surface. Meanwhile, supporters of both sides are holding firm, defending their perspectives and calling out what they see as disrespect or misunderstanding. The conversation quickly turned from curiosity into debate, and from debate into something much more intense. It's no longer just about whether the visit happened, it's about what people believe it means. And in a situation like this, perception can be just as powerful as reality. As the story continues to unfold, one thing is clear. This isn't just another viral moment. It's tied to real emotions, real history, and a fan base that feels deeply connected to every development. Whether this ends up being confirmed, denied, or something entirely different, the impact has already been felt, and the tension is only starting to build. As the conversation kept spreading, the situation took a sharper turn, and this is where things really started to escalate in a way nobody could ignore. What began as quiet speculation suddenly transformed into a full-blown online storm, with fans dissecting every possible detail tied to Lul Tim and the late King Von. Social media is going crazy at this point, with videos, reposts, and reaction clips gaining thousands of views within minutes. Some users claimed they had proof, while others immediately called it out as misleading or completely false. Nothing is confirmed, but that didn't stop the momentum. In fact, the uncertainty seemed to make everything even more intense. People are divided in a way that feels almost impossible to calm down, and emotions ran high as both sides began defending their perspectives with serious passion. One viral post even suggested that this alleged visit wasn't random at all, but instead a calculated move meant to send a message. Again, unconfirmed reports suggest that theory, but fans believe there could be deeper meaning behind it, especially considering the long-standing tension tied to a block and everything it represents. At the same time, others pushed back hard against that narrative, saying people are reading way too far into something that hasn't even been verified. One user wrote, "Y'all turning rumors into reality," while another responded, "There's always truth behind something like this." That back and forth became the heartbeat of the entire situation, and it only grew louder as more people joined the conversation. What really added fuel to the fire was the sudden appearance of clips that fans claimed showed subtle hints or clues connected to the situation. Some people think these clips were taken out of context, while others believe they revealed just enough to raise questions. Either way, the internet did what it always does, turn speculation into a full narrative almost overnight. Then came the first major twist that had everyone talking. A few individuals close to the culture, not necessarily directly involved, but still influential voices, began reacting publicly. Their responses didn't confirm anything, but the tone of their comments made fans feel like something real could be happening behind the scenes. That alone was enough to push the story into a new level of intensity. Fans are shocked at how quickly this went from a rumor to something that feels deeply personal and emotionally charged. Some even started drawing connections to past moments, saying this situation feels like history echoing itself in a way that's hard to ignore. Meanwhile, supporters of King Von's legacy expressed strong reactions, with many saying that any action perceived as disrespectful, intentional or not, would never be taken lightly. On the other side, Lul Tim supporters argued that people are jumping to conclusions without facts, emphasizing that nothing is confirmed and that assumptions can be dangerous. This clash of perspectives created a digital atmosphere that felt almost impossible to settle. Every new comment, every repost, every reaction only added another layer to the tension. What makes this moment even more intense is how quickly narratives are being built in real time. Fans aren't just watching the situation unfold, they're actively shaping it with their interpretations, theories, and emotional responses. Some people believe this could lead to further conflict, while others think it's being blown out of proportion by the internet. Still, no official statement has come forward to confirm or deny anything, leaving the door wide open for speculation to keep growing. At this stage, the story feels less like a single moment and more like a chain reaction that keeps expanding with every passing hour. The energy is unpredictable, and the lack of clarity only makes everything feel heavier. People are watching closely, waiting for anything that might bring answers. But until that happens, the tension remains, and the situation continues to evolve in a way that has everyone on edge, wondering what could possibly come next. As the tension kept building, the situation reached a point where emotions were no longer just online reactions. They started to feel personal for a lot of people following the story. Supporters of King Von became more vocal, expressing frustration and even anger over what they believed the situation could represent. For many, Von's legacy is something sacred, something tied not just to music but to identity, loyalty, and history. So when rumors connected his name to Lul Tim in this way, it didn't sit lightly. Fans are shocked at how quickly things escalated from speculation into something that feels emotionally charged on a deeper level. Comments started pouring in like, "This ain't just rap, this is deeper than that," while others echoed similar sentiments, saying certain lines should never be crossed even in conversation. At the same time, there was another wave of voices pushing back against the outrage, trying to slow things down before they went too far. Some people think the internet has a habit of turning incomplete information into full-blown narratives, and this situation might be another example of that. They pointed out how quickly assumptions were being made without any verified facts, reminding everyone that nothing is confirmed. One user wrote, "Y'all reacting off emotions, not evidence." And that statement alone sparked another round of debate. Because in a situation like this, emotions and perception can take over before logic has a chance to catch up. Still, the speculation only grew stronger. Social media is saying that there might be more happening behind the scenes than what the public can see, and that idea alone added another layer of mystery. Some fans believe individuals connected to both sides could already know the truth but are choosing to stay silent, either to avoid making things worse or because the full story is more complicated than it appears. Others think that silence itself is a statement, interpreting the lack of response as something meaningful. But again, nothing is confirmed, and every theory seems to open the door to even more questions. What made this moment even heavier was the way people began analyzing intention rather than just action. It wasn't just about whether the alleged visit happened, it became about why it might have happened. Some people think it could have been symbolic, possibly tied to pride, reputation, or unresolved tension connected to a block. Others believe it might have been something more personal, something that the public wouldn't fully understand even if it were explained. That difference in interpretation is what kept the conversation alive, because every perspective carried its own emotional weight. Meanwhile, a few voices in the community began urging people to step back and look at the bigger picture. They warned that situations like this can quickly spiral when fueled by assumptions, especially when real-life history is involved. One comment that gained attention said, "The internet don't know when to stop," highlighting how quickly things can go from discussion to division. But even with those reminders, the intensity didn't fade. If anything, it continued to grow, pulling more people into the conversation and making it harder to separate fact from feeling. As the hours passed, the atmosphere became even more unpredictable. Some fans began expecting a response, whether directly or indirectly, from someone connected to the situation. Others believed that silence might continue, leaving everything in the realm of speculation. What's clear is that this moment has gone far beyond a simple rumor. It has turned into a situation where every detail, every theory, and every reaction adds to a larger narrative that nobody fully controls anymore. And with no clear answers in sight, the tension remains, stronger than ever, leaving everyone watching closely and wondering what truth might eventually come to light. As the situation reached its most intense point, the entire narrative began to shift in a way that caught almost everyone off guard. What once felt like a straightforward rumor started to unravel into something far more complicated, and people began questioning everything they thought they knew. The names Lul, Tim, and King Von continued to dominate conversations, but now the focus wasn't just on the alleged moment, it was on whether that moment had been misunderstood from the very beginning. Social media is going crazy, but this time the energy feels different. Instead of just reacting, people are reevaluating. Fans are shocked as new angles and theories start to surface, with some users pointing out inconsistencies in the footage that originally sparked the entire situation. Questions like, "When was this really recorded?" and "Is that even him for sure?" began trending, shifting the tone from certainty to doubt. Unconfirmed reports suggest that the clip circulating online may not even be recent, and that possibility alone has changed the direction of the conversation. Some people think the entire situation might have been taken out of context, or even unintentionally exaggerated by the speed of social media. Others aren't convinced, arguing that even if certain details are unclear, the impact of the moment is still very real. This divide only deepened the tension, as both sides stood firm in what they believed to be true. People are divided in a way that feels almost impossible to resolve, because now it's not just about what happened, it's about what people choose to believe happened. At the same time, there's been a noticeable shift in how some fans are approaching the situation. Instead of reacting purely with emotion, a few voices have started calling for clarity and patience. They're asking for verified information, urging others not to jump to conclusions without confirmation. One comment that gained attention said, "We all reacting to a story that might not even be complete," and that idea started to resonate with more people as time passed. Still, not everyone is willing to slow down. For many, the emotional weight tied to Oblak and King Von's legacy makes it hard to step back, even when uncertainty is involved. Meanwhile, the silence from any direct sources has only added to the suspense. No clear statements, no confirmations, no denials, just a growing conversation that continues to evolve on its own. Some fans believe that this silence is intentional, possibly to avoid making the situation worse. Others think it's simply because there's nothing to confirm in the first place. But without answers, every possibility remains open, and that's what keeps people watching so closely. As things stand, the situation feels like it's sitting right on the edge of clarity, but not quite there yet. Every new post, every new theory, and every new reaction adds another layer, making it harder to separate reality from perception. What started as a single rumor has now turned into a full-scale discussion about respect, interpretation, and the power of the internet to shape narratives in real time. Fans are still debating, still questioning, and still searching for something solid to hold on to. And maybe that's what makes this moment so gripping. It's not just about an alleged action, it's about the meaning people attach to it. It's about how quickly stories can grow, how emotions can take over, and how difficult it can be to find truth in the middle of it all. Right now, nothing is confirmed, and yet the impact has already been felt across the entire community. The only question left is whether clarity will eventually come, or if this will remain one of those moments that lives on through speculation, discussion, and unanswered questions that continue to echo long after the headlines fade. As this story continues to unfold, one thing is clear: this isn't just another moment that will come and go. The names King Von and Lul Tim carry real weight, and anytime they're brought into the same conversation, emotions are going to run high. Right now, fans are left trying to piece together what's real, what's speculation, and what might never be fully explained. Nothing is confirmed, but the impact of the conversation is already undeniable. Social media is going crazy, people are divided, and the tension behind this situation feels bigger than just one moment. Some people believe this was intentional, others think it's being misunderstood or even blown out of proportion. And then there are those who feel like the truth is somewhere in the middle, hidden behind layers of assumption, emotion, and incomplete information. That's what makes this so gripping, because no matter which side you lean toward, there's still that unanswered question sitting in the air. What really happened? Was this a real moment, or just something the internet turned into something bigger than it actually was? And if it did happen, what did it truly mean? Now I want to hear from you. What do you think really happened in this situation? Do you think this was intentional, misunderstood, or something deeper that we're not seeing yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let your voice be heard, because this conversation is far from over. If you made it this far, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay locked in for more updates like this. Because in today's world, stories like this don't just end, they evolve. And trust me, if anything new comes out about this situation, you already know we're going to be right here breaking it all down with you.